They told you time would heal everything. They lied. Your childhood didn't make you soft. It made you dangerous. Every scream you swallowed, every tear you hid, every night you stared at the ceiling, wondering why no one came to save you. That pain didn't disappear. It sharpened. You weren't broken. You were forged. The world didn't see the damage. They only saw the silence. They mistook your calm for weakness, your loneliness for obedience. But inside you, something was growing. Something Cohen, something unstoppable. Childhood trauma isn't just a memory. It's a blueprint. It teaches you how the world really works. Not with love, with power. You learned early that people leave, that promises mean nothing, that smiles can hide knives. So you stopped trusting. You started watching. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every insult became fuel. Every time they underestimated you, you stored it quietly. Patiently, you weren't meant to be saved. You were meant to evolve. They created the monster they fear. When you grow up surrounded by chaos, your mind adapts. Not to survive, to dominate. You learned how to read faces, how to feel shifts in energy, how to sense danger before it speaks. Pain became your teacher. Loneliness became your trainer. Silence became your weapon. While others were laughing, you were studying. While others were dreaming, you were calculating. Trauma doesn't weaken you. It rewires you. You don't react like normal people. You don't feel like normal people. You don't think like normal people. You observe. You endure. You strike when it matters. The child who was ignored grew into someone unstoppable, and the world has no idea what it created. You weren't hugged enough, so you learned how to stand alone. You weren't protected, so you learned how to protect yourself. You weren't understood, so you learned to understand everything. Every insult carved discipline into your soul. Every failure built armor around your mind. You didn't become cold. You became precise. You don't chase validation. You don't beg for love. You don't need approval. You only need control. People, your past didn't break you. It refined you. And now you don't want comfort. You want power. You swatted me. You started asking, how far can I go? People with soft childhoods seek happiness. People like you seek dominance. Because you know what the world really is. It's a battlefield. You learned how to smile through pain, how to laugh while bleeding, how to stay calm in chaos. They see calm. You feel fire. They see silence. You hear war. Your trauma didn't make you weak. It made you strategic. You don't explode emotionally. You implode mentally. You store everything. Then you release it with precision. That's the Joker's way. Not loud rage, controlled chaos. Not emotional breakdowns. Calculated destruction. You don't scream. You smile. Because you know something they don't. The more pain you survive, the less power the world has over you. Your childhood taught you the truth early. Life is unfair. People are selfish. Trust is expensive. So you became priceless. You don't need their love. You don't need their praise. You don't need their respect. You only need leverage. Every scar is a reminder. You lived. They tried to break you. They failed. Now you move differently. You don't explain yourself. You don't seek sympathy. You don't look back, because you understand something deeper. Pain is a weapon if you know how to use it. Most people run from their trauma. You learn to control it. They cry, you sharpen. They complain, you prepare. They break, you adapt. That's the difference. Your childhood didn't give you peace. It gave you perspective. You see through fake smiles. You hear lies in compliments. You sense betrayal before it happens. Your instincts were trained by survival. You don't trust easily. And that's your strength. Because trust makes people blind. And blindness gets you killed. You don't need hope. You need clarity. And clarity comes from pain. You don't fear loneliness. You mastered it. You don't fear rejection. You expect it. You don't fear loss. You've already lost everything. That's why nothing scares you anymore. When you have nothing to lose, you become unstoppable. Your trauma stripped you of illusions. Now you see reality. People love conditionally. Power lasts longer. So you chose power. You chose to become unshakable. They see darkness. You see control. They see madness. You see freedom. They see chaos. You see opportunity. Your mind doesn't break under pressure. It sharpens. You don't ask for peace. You build dominance. Your childhood didn't teach you kindness. It taught you strategy. It taught you silence. It taught you patience. And patience is dangerous. These civilized people, because the quiet ones are always watching, they laugh at you. They doubt you. They underestimate you. Good. Let them. The most dangerous people are the ones no one sees coming. You don't announce your power. You reveal it. The right time. In the right way. You learn to stay calm while others panic. You learn to stay focused while others fall apart. Your trauma taught you emotional control. You don't react, you respond. You don't explode. You execute. You don't chase, you attract. Because power moves silently. Your past trained you for this. The pain was the training ground. The loneliness was the preparation. The betrayal was the lesson. Now you walk differently. Think differently, move differently. You don't beg for respect. You command it. Not with words, with presence. Your silence is louder than their noise. You don't need to explain yourself to people who never tried to understand you. You don't need approval from a world that failed you first. Lies people, you don't need love from people who only show it when it benefits them. You built yourself from broken pieces, and now you are unbreakable. Your childhood trauma didn't define you. It designed you. Every scar is a reminder of your evolution. You weren't meant to be normal. You were meant to be dangerous. Not reckless, calculated. Not emotional, strategic, not soft-sharp. You don't seek revenge with anger. You seek it with success. You don't destroy with noise. You destroy with silence. You don't fight for attention. You fight for control. Because control is power. And power is freedom. They tried to break your spirit. They only hardened it. They tried to silence you. They only trained you to listen. They tried to ignore you. They only taught you independence. Now you don't need anyone. You move alone. You think alone. You win alone. Your trauma didn't make you bitter. It made you precise. These civilized people, You don't waste energy on emotions that don't serve you. You don't chase people who don't respect you. You don't argue with fools. You let results speak, and results are loud. The Joker wasn't born. So were you. By neglect, by betrayal, by pain, and now you are something else. Not a victim, not a survivor, a weapon. You don't cry about the past, you use it. You don't complain about the scars, you sharpen them. You don't look for closure, you look for control. Because control is what they never gave you. So you took it, and once you take control of your mind, nothing can touch you. They can't manipulate you. They can't break you. They can't own you. You are your own master now. The child who was powerless is gone. In their place stands something far more dangerous. Someone who knows the rules and knows how to break them. You don't need their world. You create your own. You didn't just grow up. You woke up. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. You spent yours surviving chaos. That changes a mind. Your brain learned early how to scan for danger, how to stay alert, how to stay ready. While others felt safe, you felt aware. You learned that silence is safer than honesty. That distance is better than disappointment. That control is better than hope. Hope is fragile. Control is permanent. Your trauma didn't just hurt you. It rewired you. You don't trust words. You trust patterns. You don't believe promises. You believe actions. You believe actions. You don't listen to what people say. You watch what they do. Because pain taught you the truth. People show their real faces when they think you're weak. So you stop showing weakness. You built a mask not to hide, to protect. The Joker didn't laugh because he was happy. He laughed because he understood the joke. Life isn't fair. People aren't loyal. And power belongs to the prepared. Your childhood showed you the darkness behind human behavior. You saw manipulation. You saw neglect. You saw cruelty disguised as a love. So your mind adapted. You became emotionally disciplined. You don't panic. You don't beg. You don't collapse. You observe. You analyze. You move when the time is right. That's not madness. That's survival intelligence. Your trauma forced you to grow faster than others. While they were dreaming, you were learning how to endure. While they were trusting, you were learning how to protect yourself. While they were playing, you were learning how to read the room. That's why you don't fit in. You're not meant to. You see through illusions. You feel when something is off. You sense betrayal before it happens. Your nervous system was trained by chaos. People, and you don't need chaos anymore. You carry it inside. And you know how to control it. Your pain taught you emotional economy. You don't waste feelings on people who don't deserve them. You don't invest energy where there's no return. You don't chase love. You command respect. Because respect is safer than affection. Affection can vanish. Respect lingers. Your trauma made you selective. Not cold, strategic. You know that attachment is dangerous when it's blind, so you don't attach easily. You observe first. You test loyalty. You measure consistency. If they fail, you walk away without noise, no drama, no begging, no second chances, because you learned something early. People show you who they are. believe them the first time. Your past didn't give you comfort. It gave you clarity. You don't romanticize pain. You weaponize it. You don't cry about the scars. You study them. Each one is a reminder. You survived what was meant to destroy you. And survival creates a different mindset. You don't think like victims. You think like strategists. You don't ask, why did this happen to me? You ask, how can I use this? Pain becomes power when you stop running from it. Most people suppress their trauma. You confront it. These civilized people, most people numb themselves, you sharpen yourself. Most people drown in their past, you rise from it. That's the Joker mentality. Turn suffering into leverage. Turn chaos into control. Turn pain into precision. You learn that emotions are tools, not rulers. You feel them, but you don't obey them. Anger doesn't control you. You control it. Fear doesn't stop you. You use it. Sadness doesn't weaken you. It deepens you. Your emotional intelligence was forged by hardship. You know when to speak. You know when to stay silent. You know when to walk away. Silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. Your childhood taught you to listen more than you talk. Because talking doesn't protect you. Awareness does. You see the cracks in people's behavior, the fake smiles, the forced kindness, the hidden intentions. Your instincts are sharp. Because it had to be, you didn't grow up in comfort. You grew up in awareness. That's why you don't crave attention. You crave control. Attention is noisy. Control is quiet. You don't need applause. You need leverage. You don't need praise. You need precision. You don't need approval. You need results. Because results speak louder than emotions ever will. Your trauma didn't make you emotional. It made you disciplined. You don't lash out. You calculate. You don't explode. You execute. You don't react, you respond. You don't seek revenge through chaos. You seek it through dominance. The Joker doesn't scream, he smiles. Because he knows the game. And so do you. You understand that people fear what they don't understand. They fear your calm. They fear your silence. They fear your control. Because they can't read you. And unreadable people are dangerous. You don't reveal your plans. You reveal your outcomes. You don't announce your strength. You demonstrate it. You don't seek validation. You create impact. Your trauma taught you how to move in shadows. Not because you're afraid. Because you're patient. Patience is power. You don't rush decisions. You wait for the perfect moment. And when you move with certainty. You learn that timing beats force. You learn that silence beats noise. You learn that presence beats words. Your childhood didn't teach you fairness. It taught you reality. Reality is ruthless, so you became resilient. You don't expect kindness. You prepare for impact. You don't expect loyalty. You demand consistency. You don't expect love. You command respect. Because respect is built, not begged for. Your past taught you self-reliance. You don't depend. You dominate. You don't cling. You lead. You don't follow. You observe. You know the cost of trusting the wrong people. So you trust yourself first. Your trauma didn't isolate you. It focused you. You don't need crowds. You need clarity. You don't need noise. You need direction. You don't need approval. You need control. Because control gives you peace. Peace doesn't come from comfort. It comes from dominance over your own mind. And your mind is your strongest weapon. Your childhood tried to break it. It only sharpened it. Now you don't flinch at chaos. You create order from it. You don't fear darkness. You mastered it. You don't fear loneliness. You trained in it. You don't fear pain. You learned from it. That's why you walk with calm. That's why your eyes don't panic. That's why your silence feels heavy. Because you carry experience, not emotions. You don't wear your wounds, you use them. You don't display your scars, you study them. They remind you who you are, not a victim, not a survivor, a strategist. You understand that life is psychological. People are driven by fear, ego, and desire. You learn to read those forces. You know when someone is insecure. You know when someone is lying. You know when someone is weak. And you don't exploit it recklessly. You exploit it intelligently. Because real power is subtle. The Joker doesn't need chaos to be powerful. Chaos follows him naturally. You don't need to prove yourself. Your presence does it for you. Your trauma taught you emotional minimalism. You don't overreact. You don't overthink. You don't overexplain. You move with intention. Your words are few. Your actions are heavy. Because you know something most people don't. Silence makes people uncomfortable. And uncomfortable people reveal themselves. So you stay silent. You watch them talk. You watch them expose themselves. You collect information. You gain leverage. Your childhood taught you that knowledge is power. Not loud power, quiet power. The kind that controls rooms without speaking. You don't seek chaos. You command it. You don't chase darkness, you own it. Your trauma didn't make you evil. It made you aware of how the world really works. No fairy tales, no guarantees, no safety nets. Only strategy, only awareness, only control. You don't need to be understood. You need to be respected. And respect comes from strength, not emotional strength, mental strength. The strength to stay calm when others collapse. The strength to stay focused when others panic. The strength to stay silent when others talk too much. Your past built that strength. You didn't ask for it, you earned it. Through nights of silence, through moments of betrayal, through years of feeling invisible. Now invisibility is your advantage. They don't see you coming. And by the time they do, it's already too late. You don't heal by forgetting. You heal by mastering. Your childhood trauma isn't a curse. It's a weapon waiting to be sharpened. Most people try to escape their past. You turn it into power. Because running makes you weak. Control makes you dangerous. You don't erase pain. You discipline it. You don't silence the darkness. You command it. You don't seek peace. You build dominance. Real healing isn't soft. It's ruthless. It's learning how to stand in your scars without flinching. It's learning how to look at your past and say, you didn't break me. You trained me. Your trauma gave you awareness. Now you give it direction, people, because awareness without control is chaos. And you don't live in chaos anymore. You rule it. You stop letting emotions drive your decisions. You let discipline lead. You stop reacting to disrespect. You respond with elevation. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You build a life they can't touch. That's power. You don't need revenge in the streets. You get it in silence. By outgrowing. By outperforming. By becoming untouchable. Nothing hurts more than watching someone rise. So you rise. You stop seeking validation from the same world that failed you. You validate yourself. Your standards become higher. Your circle becomes smaller. Your focus becomes sharper. You don't entertain weakness. You don't tolerate disrespect. You don't chase approval. You move with purpose. Your trauma made you aware of human nature. Now you use that awareness to dominate it. You understand fear, so you don't show it. You understand manipulation, so you don't fall for it. You understand betrayal, so you don't give blind trust. You become selective, not cold, precise. Your energy is expensive now. Not everyone gets access. Not everyone deserves your presence. You don't waste yourself on people who only show up when it benefits them. You don't explain your silence. You let it speak, because silence makes people uncomfortable. And uncomfortable people reveal the truth. You watch, you learn, you adapt. Your trauma taught you to survive. Now you use it to dominate people. You build a mindset that doesn't bend under pressure. You train your mind like a weapon. You control your reactions. You control your emotions. You control your narrative. Because the one who controls the story controls the power. You don't let the past define you. You redefine the past. You stop seeing yourself as the hurt child. You see yourself as the evolved mind, the one who learned early, the one who adapted fast, the one who saw reality before others were ready. You don't envy soft lives. Soft lives break. You respect resilience. Resilience wins. You don't want comfort. You want control. You don't want safety. You want strength. You don't want approval. You want authority. Because authority doesn't ask, it commands. Your trauma becomes your discipline. You channel the anger into focus. You turn the sadness into strategy. You transform loneliness into independence. You don't numb the pain. You refine it. Pain becomes your edge. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you alert. It keeps you dangerous. You don't complain about the past. You conquer the future. You stop explaining your story. You let your presence tell it. You walk differently now. Not rushed, not emotional, not reactive. Calculated, controlled, unshaken. Your energy changes. People feel it before they understand it. Because confidence built from pain hits different. It's quiet. It's heavy. It's undeniable. You don't need to speak much. Your eyes carry experience. Your silence carries authority. You don't chase respect. You attract it by staying unbothered, by staying disciplined, by staying focused. Your trauma taught you what most people learn too late. Nobody is coming to save you. So you saved yourself. And when you save yourself, you become unstoppable. You stop begging for love. You build self-respect. You stop waiting for loyalty. You demand consistency. You stop seeking attention. You command presence. Because presence is power. You don't need chaos to feel alive. You create control. You don't need noise to feel strong. you move in silence. That's the Joker mentality. Not madness, mastery. Well, you smile because you understand the game. You laugh because you see the truth. The world isn't kind, so you became strong. The world isn't fair, so you became sharp. The world doesn't protect, so you learned to dominate. Your trauma wasn't the end of you. It was the beginning. The beginning of awareness. The beginning of discipline. The beginning of control. You don't wear your past like a wound. You wear it like armor. You don't carry pain like a burden. You carry it like a weapon, and weapons are only dangerous in the right hands. Your hands are steady now. Your mind is focused. Your emotions are disciplined. You don't seek revenge. You become untouchable. You don't fight for power. You embody it. You don't need to destroy others. You rise above them. Because elevation hurts more than retaliation. You don't argue. You ascend. You don't explain. You execute. You don't chase. You dominate. Your trauma built the foundation. Your discipline built the empire. And now you stand alone, not lonely, unshakable. You don't need approval from a world that tried to break you. People, you built something stronger from the wreckage. You built control, and control is the highest form of freedom. So let them doubt you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. You don't need their belief. You have your scars, and scars never lie. They remind you who you are. Not a victim, not a survivor, a strategist, a thinker, a force. You don't fear the dark. You mastered it. You don't fear silence. You command it. You don't fear pain. You use it. Because the Joker doesn't escape the chaos. He becomes the one who controls it. And so do you. Your childhood didn't break you. It trained you for dominance. Stay silent. Stay sharp. Stay dangerous.